I was a little fearful when I starting at a late age, but my goal was to become an attorney. I want to be that beacon of light to help them out of situation that they find themselves in and cannot afford an attorney.
I wanted to actually come back to school to get my degree, but I'm not sure where I want to go. So with Martin being that one hidden jewel in the city, you drive past it every day, I stopped. I took a chance, I walked in the building, and that chance turned into reality.
For 40 plus years, this has been a pillar in the community where healing takes place.
Because Martin has a lot to offer to people as well as education, the love that they share that you feel here at Martin.
Martin University is it.
Welcome to Let's Talk Live with Martin U, the live podcast bringing much needed community conversations to the table. Let's Talk Live with Martin U is an exciting, reverent, and educational podcast that digs deep into the current topics, community involvement, and stories of our alumni success that only Martin University can deliver. I'm Montia King, and joining me today is Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dr. Michael Couch. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here virtually.
Yes. So yesterday, Martin University held a press conference, and it kicked off something that is called Reset to Reemerge campaign. Can you tell me a little bit more about what this campaign entails for students, alumni, future students? Let's break this down into sections.
All right. So, Reset to Reemerge is just a major initiative and a culture shifter and game changer for Martin University. Starting at the top with alumni, it's a way to re-engage with some things with the university that we're doing differently. One is how we connect, what we do, and getting involved with students. What we offer here at Martin, and other ways to engage. We're looking at adding and needing the input of our alumni to kind of help us push this message forward. One of the major things that came out of Reset Reemerge was we did a lot of research and a lot of internal looking at everything that's going on in the higher education landscape. And, a lot of talk about student loan debt and a lot of students like looking at the value of education. So internally here at Martin, what we did is we looked at that and we decided to cut our tuition by 45%, which is sometimes unheard of. But knowing the community that we serve, knowing that the state, the city that we serve, we knew that it was time for us to look at how we could be a part of the conversation of making the value of education more affordable, which is one of the biggest things that students face is the affordability of education. So by doing that, we are hoping that students have access, and we want to help our students complete. And so that's a major change for Martin from a historical standpoint. Other things with Martin Works, our program, connecting people directly to on-job experiences and earning while they learn. So most of the time with the internship, you normally do that your junior or senior year, and it's a free internship, free work, free labor, but we want to make sure we get our students connected early, earning funds. And our goal, ideally with the Martin Works program, is to have students interning during their time at Martin, and by the time they graduate, once they graduate, they're walking across the stage with a diploma in their hand and a job offer in the other. And so by making our curriculum more affordable, we want to help students get to that a little bit more efficiently without taking out a ton of student debt and little to no debt if possible with some of the things that we're doing here internally at Martin.
Nice. So you're already saying you're reducing it up to 45% to encourage students to enroll. But I think where people might be confused, whose debt are you removing? Is this for students that were only at Martin University and then they left and they want to come back? Is this for somebody that may have went to Butler and then they want their debt erased from Butler? Like, how does that work? So we can clear that.
So our pathways to completion is for any student that had been at Martin previously, that created a balance, because we know that life happens, and sometimes with the balance, that's the main thing that deters you from coming back, because you may not have that lump sum of money right now. And so what we've done is we've looked at ways to forgive that balance that you may owe to Martin, and we put together an agreement for every semester that you complete, a fourth of that balance will be forgiven. And with the tuition reduction, you have a path towards graduation. So it's specifically for those students that may have started at Martin and didn't finish. They may have taken a break and they need to come back. So we have that program in place to remove the barrier and creating more access and affordability to come back to Martin. So you can complete, because we know that earning a bachelor's degree can change the trajectory of not only yourself, but your family and your earning potential.
So with that being said, we'll go on into the next pillar of the AAAs, which is accessible, affordability, and applicability. We heard in the press conference that there is banded tuition. A lot of people don't know what banded tuition is, how it works, the prices. So can you explain what banded tuition is and how it's really beneficial to Martin students to stay on track for a four-year degree?
Yeah, so banded tuition is something that has been around for a while, but it's something that is very beneficial to students. And what it is, in essence, is anytime a student takes between 12 to 18 credits, there's one cost. So it's not it goes up, it goes down. Once you hit 12 credits, there's a flat fee. So the encouragement is you want to take 15 credits, 18 credits if possible, and pay one fee for the same amount of credits. And what we know is by a student taking at minimum 15 credits a semester, they will be on track to graduate in 4 years. If students are a little bit more aggressive and take 18, they can literally cut that time down to three years and a few semesters, depending on how. And that does a couple things. One, it speeds up your time to graduation. And two, it saves you a ton of money because it's one fee for that. So you can take 18 credits and it's one fee versus it being higher if you take 18 versus taking 12. So we're trying to remove that barrier for students to say, hey, as long as you're at a full-time 12 credits or more, between 12 and 18, is one cost. And we hope that students will encourage them to enroll for more, because we want to cut down their time to completion, because we know that students are wanting to get their education, to get a job, to start working, to provide for their families, provide for themselves. And we know that this banded tuition philosophy works. And we know that it helps students save money. It helps to cut down on their student loan debt. And it helps them to stay on track to graduation and persist a lot easier, because they just know once I get over to, I can take this many classes, it's going to cost the same as I take 12.
You mentioned Martin Works earlier. What's the difference now with Martin Works and the Reset to Reemerge compared to how the program was the first 2 years? I know that it was optional and you can apply for it. So how does this make a difference for students now that Martin Works is open?
Yeah, so it changes the game for Martin Works, because now we're going to directly connect students to Martin Works from the beginning. And what we know is that if we can get you connected early and you're working, some students will be able to use those funds that they are earning on the job to pay their balance as they go, versus taking out a student loan. So by lowering our tuition, that payment plan becomes a little bit more applicable. And for some students that just say, I don't want to take loans, it helps us to help them be more fiscally responsible and better financial stewards of their money and their time. So they know, like, hey, I'm working, I can create a budget. I know if I take this many classes, it's going to be this amount of money. So I can talk with financial aid, and they can help me create a budget to where I don't have to take out loans, and I can manage my funds to just pay as I go.
I like that. In the press conference, Bill Newell, the Vice President of Finance and Administration in the university, first needed to be sure the infrastructure was in place to sustain to change in tuition. So basically what he said was that we were diligent in our approach to be sure that the university's bottom line was unaffected by the tuition reduction and debt forgiveness. So where do you align with that portion of the Reset to Reemerge campaign as far as it goes with making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed?
Yeah, so when we look at that particular piece of sustainability, affordability, and applicable, right? We want to make sure that we do this. And one, we want to serve the community and students that we serve, but also we want to make sure the university is able to sustain and grow and move forward. So by doing something like this, we are expecting and anticipating we want students to come back. We want them to come back and finish. And as we grow, that will begin to balance out that bottom line piece that Bill shared, that we are being good fiscal stewards of managing our funds, because we know that finances is usually the biggest thing, the biggest barrier for a student. So by reducing that, we hope that we gain some students back and we're able to help them cross the finish line and become alumni and support Martin. And in that, we've now creating a revolving cycle of support for Martin to help us better be sustainable. And it's not just as an institution, but now it's a community, it's as current students, it's as future students and alums. Now we all have a different investment in Martin for us to do this, because now making it more affordable, making it sustainable, helps us to really make our imprint on the city and the students and the zip code that we serve. That, in our partnership with Ivy Tech, we are literally putting our best foot forward to help in that transition, because we don't want students to have to come out of college with a ton of debt, and then their first job, 75% of their salary is going to making student loan payments and they can't live. So we know that. So we had to look at internally, what can we do to sustain everything that we sustain, but also make an impact and shift the culture of higher education by changing our tuition and also essentially our value statement, saying that we are here for you and we are going to do what we can to help you complete.
With the Reset to Reemerge campaign kicking off, there's also a lot of other things that Martin University is doing, mostly in the enrollment and management area that you are over. So, can you tell us what's going on with the applications for admissions and what we're doing here at Martin University for students?
Yeah, so as a part of College Go Week, with the state, we are waiving our admissions application for the entire month of October for students. So there's no application fee. You can apply. And for what that does is, like we said, we're looking at things that deter students from enrolling. And so right off the bat, if you're telling a student you have to pay to apply, that could be a barrier. So we're removing that right out of the way to help people come in, and we can begin to assess and help them get enrolled to start taking classes and get on the path to graduation. And we are just very fortunate to be working with the state, the Commission of Higher Education, and the folks at Independent Colleges of Indiana, to be able to offer that to the community and to students, because we know that finances is a barrier for some. And so we just want to remove all barriers, because our goal is access. And so we can remove barriers. That means we're creating avenues of access for students to attend Martin University.
With the access, I think a lot of people should know how Martin University has something called PLA. And even if they don't participate in Martin Works, what is PLA and how does that also give them access to furthering their education and meeting that 4-year degree?
Tia, I'm glad you asked about PLA, because that is one of the most exciting things about Martin. So PLA is Prior Learning Assessment. And what that is we offer a class for students to get college credit based upon real life experiences. And so in this course, you'll sit down, you'll work with our faculty member, and you'll be able to put together a portfolio of your professional, personal experiences. And that portfolio goes to a panel of faculty and staff members at Martin. They review that. And based upon what you submit, you can earn college credit. So in this one class, typically students earn around 20 to 30 credits, but the max that the students have earned is 60. And so when you do the math of that, it's 120 credits to graduate. And so you could potentially take one class and get 60 credits based upon your life experience. And that one class will only cost you a certain amount of money because we've reduced the cost of the class. So if you are out there, you have real life experience, or if you've been a manager on the job, if you publicly spoke, if you ran your own business, taking the PLA course at Martin can give you college credit for that. And what we hope is that by taking that class, you're going to condense your time to graduation down because you should get some credit for your life experience. And we're one of the few places in the state that offers a program like that to give you college credit based upon your life experience. And that goes back to the piece of time to being accessible, because we know that time is one of the things that works against us, and we got a small window of time. So as you are looking at coming back, you know, a lot of the folks that are coming back to college or thinking about college, they want to know, how long is it going to take? For us offering PLA, we can help assess what that really looks like, because you can come in with 12, 20, 24 credits, and you're literally can cut off a year, 2 years off your education from one course. And so we're really excited about that program and that course and what we offer at Martin. We hope that with this announcement and the Reset to Reemerge campaign, that a lot of our community members that are thinking about going back or have that concern about, like, man, I don't want to be in a class and starting from square one, like, that class will help us assess where you are. And you may not start at square one, you may start at square six on your way in your path to graduation.
So how does one, if I came and I wanted to be a student and I say, well, I have experience, what do they have to do to prove that this experience does meet the requirements for, you know, receiving the credits with the PLA?
Yeah, so a couple of things with that. So there's some prerequisite classes that you take before you get into that class, and those are just some basic things. Or some students that may have went to another school may transfer right into that class. And so as you build a portfolio and you provide documents, so if you, an example that we see a lot of students is with public speaking. So if you've given a speech, or you have an article, or you can demonstrate that you have competency, so you publicly spoke somewhere, you can provide that documentation in your portfolio and that portfolio gets reviewed, and they can give you credit based upon your experience of something that you've done. And so coming in as you apply to Martin, that's one of the conversations that we begin to have with you in the enrollment process. As you're completing your application, we're going to ask you, have you attended any previous colleges? And we're going to kind of ask you about the things you're interested in and what do you want to major in, and try to get to know a little bit more about you. And as we start to have some of those conversations, we can start to identify if you will be a great fit for PLA, because you may have said, you know, I'm currently working. And it's like, okay, great. So what do you do at work? And, you know, we can start to have those conversations to try to tie you to see if you're a great fit for PLA. Or if you say, you know what, I've done that a while ago and I'm focusing on school. The while ago is where we still want to look, because you have that experience already. And we don't want you to feel like that's wasted experience that's not going to count towards anything. So we want to have some more informed conversation with you and kind of build that rapport to figure out what's the best path for you. And that's one of the beautiful things about Martin. As we enroll students, we want to get to know you as a person and know what your desire is and know what the outcome is, so we can begin to pinpoint and create an academic plan and pathway to get you towards graduation.
So you would say this new campaign, Reset to Reemerge, makes the communication and the connection between faculty and students more personable?
Highly. Because I think as we look at Reset and Reemerge, you know, the reset is we're doing some internal looking at things that we've done, things that we're doing, and things that we could be better at, and also things that we need to try. And I think that's one of the beautiful things with faculty and staff and students. Now we are looking at things that we could try, because being in a space where we're making such an announcement, such a cut, we already know that that's going to gain attention, right? So now we have to follow that up with some creativity, and we have the staff We have amazing faculty that now have the ability to open up that box of creativity to help us be more creative in helping students on board to come in and to graduate and get out. And so it's just a great time to be at Martin because right now we can try things, we can pilot things, and just really kind of see what works. And
Mhm.
each situation is different. And what's unique about Martin is we know that, so we can create something special and especially for you as a student and make it unique to you and help it be your success because your success is ultimately our goal. We want to make sure that you're successful. We want to make sure that when you start, that you finish and cross the stage. And so, with our faculty and staff and the innovation from Dr. Huddleston and the empowerment from him and our senior leadership, I think the sky's the limit for what we can do to help our students kind of go from beginning to end.
I like that. You said something very similar to what Mayor Hawks had said yesterday. He mentioned how Martin University has such a valuable and unique role in our city and how he applauds that we find yet another way to help an important portion of our city's residents to receive a college education and improve their lives. So, what would you say about Reset to Reemerge in your own words, how you feel it will help the city?
Um, in summing it up in a word, in a couple words, is literally a game changer. So we go from being a part of the conversation to being what the conversation is about. And by that, like when you see what we're doing, and you see the innovation, and you see that we are being more affordable and accessible and applicable, right? The three A's um,
Mm-hmm.
in that conversation. Now that changes, that puts some people on the radar to, well, what about Martin? Or I've heard about it, and now that gives us more talking points to be able to talk about the great things that we do here. A lot of people drive over I-70 and see this globe and wonder what exactly we're doing in this building. And what we're doing is changing lives and Reset to Reemerge. And the things that we're doing in this campaign and in this season at Martin is literally going to change the lives of people in the city of Indianapolis.
I like that. I like that a lot. With that being said, when does this start? When does the campaign kick in to reduce the 45%? When's the banded tuition? Martin Works. When can these three different steps, when do they start?
So the official kickoff is our spring term, which is January 9th. So what that means is if you're thinking about it, if you've thought about it, if you're in the process, right now is the time to get connected because come January, we are going to be rolling out everything. And so it's October, so you got some time to get everything together. We have staff, amazing staff that's here willing to help you kind of go through those things. If you're looking to come back and you owe a balance, we got a program to help you with that. If you're looking to get started, we have staff here that can help you. So now is the time to get connected because come January, it's gonna be an exciting time for us because we're gonna start to see the momentum from the announcement yesterday to where we're going, and that's only gonna pick up because as we grow, we're going to grow in other ways too. There's going to be more opportunities. There's going to be other partners that want to connect to Martin Works. There's going to be students that come back that finish that degree and go from one level to another level. And we are so excited that we have the ability to be the piece that helps to do that for them and for the community and for the state.
You all are doing something for homecoming called Ready, Set, and Roll. What is that, and why should people take advantage of that during homecoming week?
So Ready, Set, and Roll is the perfect time to get connected. So what we're doing on the Thursday of homecoming, October 20th, it's a day where you can come in and you can take care of all of your enrollment steps. So whether you started and you're thinking about coming back, if you are been thinking about it, or if you are in process and you need to turn in documents and finish, that day you can come in and it's walk-in basis. So you can just literally walk into the building, get assistance, and be enrolled. That's the intent for Ready, Set, and Roll. And we do that intentionally because we know that things get in the way. Work, time, kids. And so we said, we're going to dedicate a day, no structure. We're just going to have staff, all hands on deck, ready to help you move through the process, get enrolled, get your classes. And you can either start on October 24th or you can start on January 9th. And so with Ready, Set, Emerge and tuition, that's the time to come in. You can come in one time and get everything done. And so we do that intentionally. And so we want to make sure, because we value time and we want to value your time. So if you come, we want to do everything we can to get you enrolled and get you ready to make the next step and start classes.
And when's the deadline to enroll for Martin University's spring section?
The spring, we haven't set that one yet. So October 17th is the deadline for Fall B, which starts October 24th. So spring will be sometime in November, December. But because we're flexible, accessible, we just want you to come in and take that step, and we will figure it out. We will help you and navigate through those waters to do whatever it is we need to do to help you become a Martin Bear.
Nice. Do you have anything else you would like to share about Reset to Reemerge, PLA, engagement, admissions? Do you have anything that you would like to share with the viewers right now?
Oh, there's so much going on right now, but really, 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 we hope that you get connected with Martin during this time. So this is an exciting time to be connected to Martin. As you know, there's so much going on with higher education, with student loan debt and student loan forgiveness. We are really trying to change and shift the culture of higher education, not in the city of Indianapolis, not the state of Indiana, but in the entire country, by being a place that looks at internally, how can we be a part of the solution? And so by us being solution focused and solution driven, we're doing things in a different way than other institutions may be considering it. We like to say that we're on the front edge of that change. And so now it's just an exciting time to get connected. There's so many things that we're offering to get connected with PLA, with Martin Works. There's a ton of opportunity here. And we just hope that students come, get connected, because once they get connected, we know that we can create the experience to help them get to graduation.
Nice. That sounds amazing. I hope you all take advantage of this opportunity that Martin University is bringing, and only Martin University is doing. You will not find this at any other institution in the state of Indiana. So please take advantage. Please visit the Ready, Set, Enroll on Thursday, October 20th. And you guys are there all day, right? 9 to
Yep.
9
I think
to
we're
5.
down like 9 to 8. I think we're at 9 to 8. So even if you get off work at 5, you can come on down, bring the kids. We take it, we can help with the kids while you get everything situated.
There is a drop-in center, and you can bring your kids while you're handling business, and they will be well taken care of. They'll get a snack. They'll be able to play. Even if they have homework to do, they can do that in there as well. So please do not miss this opportunity to enroll at Martin University. Take advantage of all the things that they have here at Martin. And that is all we have today. So I thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk Live with Martin Yu, Dr. Couch, and for sharing your knowledge and expertise on the Ready, Reset to Reemerge with the Martin community.
Thank you. So excited to be here virtually. Thank you. And as always, if you all have any questions or any comments, please feel free to email admissions@martin.edu or give us a call I've got like 4 numbers that I'm been circulating right now for Ready, Set, Enroll. Admissions@martin.edu. And let me get the number really quick. And that number is 317-917-3308. Once again, that number is 317-917-3308. So any questions, comments, thoughts, if you're thinking about enrolling, you can call that number or email us, and we would be glad to speak with you about getting you started.
Call that number, that email,
text.
pull up to Martin. Right. You can text, you can do all that. We just want to get you guys in a good space to reach your goals, get your 4-year degree or your master's degree here at Martin University. And I'm your guest host, Antia King, and I'll see you same place, same time next week right here on Let's Talk Live with Martin U.
All right.